So with regard to abortion, it's the same process as the regard to anything else that we've really done harmful in our life. You see, everything we've done harmful in our life, we had our reasons at the time, which were really, in the end, just justifications. We always had a reason why. If we list those reasons why, they will tell us our fears. Can you see it's the same pattern? They will tell us our fears. Our fear was we were willing to, instead of destroy life, we were willing to break love because of our fears. And we will need to feel some grief about those things. Right? When we feel the grief, and remember the grief is regarding the causal reason why we did those things, they are released from us. We will have guilt about everything that we've done that broke love, because that's an automatic reaction to the soul. The law of compensation kicks into effect every time we do something disharmonious with love, whether it's natural love or divine love, doesn't matter. The law of compensation will kick into effect. We have the choice of feeling the full effects of the law of compensation, or we can go into a state of repentance. The state of repentance is this deep, heartfelt sorrow and desire to deal with the underlying causal emotional reason why I did what I did. When we do that and we ask God for grace and mercy, the underlying reason will be lifted from us. You'll feel a sense of peace and calm overcome you, and you'll be able to speak about these events without any fear, without any sadness, without any shame, without any terror, without any guilt. Does that make sense? Exactly the same process for everything we do that is disharmonious with God's love. In the spirit world, it's called the law of karma a lot, right? They understand that law a lot, and they feel the effects of what you sow, you reap. There's a saying in the spirit world that the wheels of God grind very closely. You can see that that is a very, very similar teaching to a lot of Christian teachings, right? For any of you who've been in a Christian religion. Yes, of course, like that's why it's called Christian, based on Christ, and I was the first Christ, so therefore, a lot of the things I say will sound Christian. Sorry about that, but that's what you get talking to Jesus. Perhaps you can explain the difference between trying to be and feeling it. Can you think of any examples?
I've thought there's been lots of times where I've felt like I'm really sorry and I want to say sorry and I'm crying and I never want to do it and I feel ashamed of what I've done.
And then the next time an event comes up, what happened?
I just did it again. Just got angry or just, cut someone off or whatever. And then I felt shame. And this is why guilt is such a powerful avoidance emotion, because it wasn't letting me get deeper to the actual reasons why I was taking these actions.
Yeah.
When I did that, I actually felt I really connected to what it was I was avoiding through trying to control or so I felt the reason why I was actually taking the action, getting angry, for example. And I felt I really connected with that and felt grief about that, but I also felt a very deep longing towards God please take this away from my soul, so it's not within me anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Can everyone see that you can say sorry as much as you like, but if you do it again, you weren't sorry in the first place, right? So you see this a lot in a relationship. For example, the man cheats on the wife, says he's sorry, cries, does all these other things, and she thinks, he seems like he's sorry. 6 months later, he's cheating again. Like, was he sorry? No. What is real sorrow? Real sorrow is connecting to the causal emotional reason why you did what you did. Unless that person who's doing that deals with the underlying causal emotional reason why they do what they do, they are going to do it again. Guaranteed. If we deal with the underlying causal reason why we do it, we will not ever be able to do it again. It will be so abhorrent for us to even consider doing it again emotionally that we would never be able to do it again. Does that make sense? And that's not a fear of it. You get to a point where you just cannot do it. Anybody can reconnect with a person who's repentant. So it doesn't matter what's happened in your life, but if a person's repentant, they're never going to do that the same thing again to you. And so every single person on this planet, every single person in the spirit world can reconnect to people who have harmed them, tortured them, abused them and all sorts of things, as long as the person who was the perpetrator is completely repentant and they've dealt with the underlying causal emotion. So you understand that when you deal with the underlying causal emotion, it creates an amazing draw back to a pure relationship with the person. And this is particularly the case with an abortion. So the child who's aborted feels a draw back to mummy and daddy when mummy and daddy are repentant for the reasons why they did what they did. And the nursing spirit, if the child's still quite young, will allow that process to occur under those circumstances, because that's in harmony with God's laws.